Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So in this episode, we're going to go through probably our fuel line on trying to get that situated with AN fittings so we can get our new fuel rail and everything set up. And please ignore this video with all the audio. It was recorded, but it did not have the mic set properly. Exhaust that kind of went haywire. So I was driving around, I don't want to say last week, and I started the car and I felt like there was a little bit of an exhaust leak underneath, but I couldn't quite tell. So of course, being me, drove it anyway. And as I drove around, hit some bumps and it just sounded like it came disconnected. So I'm not sure if it became disconnected at the top where the turbo's at, or if it was underneath and then it kind of just dragged down, but pretty sure it disconnected up top and then fell down and has just been dragging itself. So we're gonna basically check out the damage, lift the car up real quick, see what's going on, and then go from there. Hopefully it's nothing too bad to where I can just put it back on there. But I know eventually the turbo itself, it still needs to have a proper AN fitting on the back of it. It just has, I guess, whatever the rear turbo housing was originally, but it doesn't have like a section to seal any of the lip at all. So I need to chop that off and put a different AN fitting on at some point, but we're not there yet, so we'll get there. So there's gonna be a slight exhaust leak at the turbo housing itself, but that's what I expect. So eventually we'll get it there. But yeah, let's get started lifting this car up off the ground, shall we? All right, looking at the back of the turbo, looks like it's still on there, no problem. Seems pretty snug on there, so it's just on the bottom, which has always been the difficult part. So let me get this lifted up and then let's see what we got. All right guys, so we're under the car now. Ignore my old oil leak that was under there before. Yeah, so I thought this part was gonna come off, but it looks like it's the back part that came off. And it's unfortunate, it did destroy part of the V-band. Not much you can really do there, but we'll see if we can't cinch it back on there temporarily, just to get it back in place and go from there. One day I'd like to make my own straight pipe, so maybe that'll come up in the near future. But yeah, at least as of now, we'll get this back on and should be off to the races again, I suppose. And for any of you wondering, it's 3-inch V-band, so big boy. But yeah, we'll try and put this on, see if it'll work. If not, no big deal, but yeah, go from there. All right, so let's give you the play-by-play here. Fell off. This is the way it's oriented. Obviously it hit the ground and then it's just been dragging for a while. So the lip itself seems like it's fine. So I probably could reuse it, but I should have another 3-inch that we can use. And like I said, I want to kind of do my own straight pipe because this one's got a little bend to it. I haven't welded my own before, and I haven't welded any V-bands before. My welding has been subpar, so to speak. But I think another 3. Yep. So we got another one that we can basically chop this one off, try and weld this on, and hope for the best. But do my own little research before I actually get to that point, and maybe try it tomorrow, maybe the day after, who knows. But that way we can set this in there. This is on the other side. The other side is fine. This way we can clamp it on there. So I don't think, yeah. So I won't clamp on there anyway, even if I wanted to, because of that part that's pushed in. So I would, if I was gonna reuse this, which I'm not, I'm gonna try and chop it off and reuse my own thing, but I would need to space this part of it out just a smidge to allow it to reclamp, and then we would be set. But yeah, another one shall go on in its memory. All right, so we got this in the vise. We're gonna go ahead and cut this end off just right on the welds itself. Try and keep it clean, keep it as straight as we can, and then yeah, go from there, see where we're at, see what we can work with. Ta-da! Broken piece off. Now we need to clean this up, make it flat, make it straight-ish, and then you can try and sit this piece on. There's definitely going to be a little bit of a gap we'll need to fill as we go through it, but you know, it's a part of it, right? Learning as you go. There's a decent gap in there too, so we'll see how this goes. All right, so we got our new fittings. I think I'm missing something with these essentially, but these new fittings are essentially exactly what I need. They have the little olive that's in there that will clamp around. Let me move this. So you have this little olive that essentially sits inside, like so, slides on top. Now this has the barb still on it, and you have to chop it down just enough. I'll take the first barb off top, which is essentially right here. You'll chop that top piece off and chop it down a little bit, just enough to where you will basically slide this on and you'll get it right underneath. I'm not sure if it's going to show it very well. You'll essentially get right underneath, and then you will put the top piece on and tighten it down, and it will squeeze and crush that olive within it, giving you a tight seal so it doesn't come off. So we're going to do that. This is an old one that I had prior lying around, so I chopped that up, test fitted it just to make sure it kind of works, and that way we can do the same thing with the appropriate one, because earlier in the video, if you probably saw, I chopped it too far back, so we still need that barb is the problem. So I got another one, whole new line, and yeah, let's chop it down. We'll use the same thing we did before to cut it off with our pipe cutter, and we'll go from there. So we're just going to mark it up with a line, and then that way we know our starting point, and then we can get started. And just like that, got the end chopped off, and now we can try and test fit. All right, correction. These are for a different size, it would seem, not for the actual gas line, but these are, and I already have these. So I just misunderstood how to put it on. So it seems like you'll take this off, but it does need to have the nipple basically being the end of it, this little barb piece to be the end of it, in order for it to clamp onto something. But there's two. There's one if you don't chop the top off, and then there's this one. So I'm assuming you can use either or. It can't get past it. It just kind of sits in there and up against the little O-rings that are inside. But yeah, it just feels wrong ultimately. So we'll see once we put it on. All right, moving over a little bit. Got this old fuel line off. This is basically what it's going to look like from my understanding of it. I'm not sure if I need to go any lower or not, but this one's already got the top one chopped off. So we're just going to take this down right here, right where the other barb is. And that way we should have some room for this to cinch in and go from there. So let's see what we got. Take it down a little bit lower, just right where the barb is. Let's see if it fits now. All right, cool. So feels like a thumb there. Small, it doesn't feel like it's gonna come off or anything, or move or wiggle or anything. So cool. We're gonna actually chop this one down. So take this top one off, leave this bottom one, get right up on the nub, and then we will put this on. And then I guess we can take all this out and put all the stuff in we need. So let's go. Ta-da! And then again, put this on the bottom. A little here in the way. So it nubs up against that. Top might be a little high, but we'll see. Nope, seems like it's okay. And then we will twist it and twirl it in there. Hang on. So now all I need to do, which I don't have time for this week, is to take the old line out, put this one in. Yeah, and then we'll work on taking all this stuff out again, putting it back across, and then finishing up. Did it once. We just had to wait for parts, which we already had. So we'll finish that next time, and yeah, keep moving. And I was thinking about it for the exhaust. I'm just gonna order the line, and I'm gonna try and build the center section and put the V-bands on the edges and go from there, because this has a fatty gap that was filled by a buddy of mine, thankfully, because he knows what he's doing. I don't. And this is not 3-inch. This is like a 2 1/4 or 2 3/4. So we'll get 3-inch. This is full 3-inch, but this is aluminum, and I don't have anything to weld that, so I need to switch out my spool on the old welder, and then we can go from there. Try and fit that in. That'll probably be next week, is trying to finish all that up. So that'll be an experience. But yeah, we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.